got to get out of the car. You got to get out.
What can I do?
Swim.
What?
Swim. Swim.
What to do?
Leave the car. Swim.
Stay in the car?
Leave the car. Swim.
Houston, extremely hard hit by flooding today, and some incredible images there coming in. You saw that man right there actually to jump out of his vehicle as it was sinking. We're going to have more on that coming up here in just a moment, but we know that we've had a lot of pictures that you all have sent us in as well, and a lot sent by David Moore Jansen, David Moore of Jansen Adjusters of International. David, some of the pictures that you have sent us, we're going to show our viewers in a little bit here. Pretty incredible. What have you seen around the city today? Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Well, not in a long time. If you live in Houston, you're going to see flooding, you're going to see storms like this, but, not normally this fast, and it kind of happened pretty quick. So we're not used to this, I guess.
Tell us about, the season for this. It seems like this is the type of event we see more later spring or summer, or even during, hurricane season, but not this time of year necessarily.
Exactly. I mean, we had a tornado in December, which I don't think I can remember seen a tornado in December in a long time. We have had hail in the beginning of March. We had hail again in Plano at the end of March, and we just had another big storm in Wiley and then in San Antonio last week. And normally that doesn't usually come around until maybe end of April, something like that, beginning of May, and then we get into hurricane season, which is June the 1st. So we've got, our guys are all busy now with a lot of storms. And typically, we're trying to get caught up right now from the December, the winters, and so forth this time of year.
David, we know that Houston is one of those cities that floods pretty easily, but we're seeing neighborhoods this go around that don't usually flood.
That's correct. Typically Jersey Village gets it about every other year. Meyerland, I think it was exactly a year ago this May. You get Bunker Hill, is usually gets hit about every year. But we had Greens Point. I believe the Woodlands has gotten some. I've heard some calls in the Woodlands so far today, and really surprising that Greens Point area that got it pretty bad. But yeah, we are getting some areas that for whatever reason this year we're getting that we don't typically do.
David, now you work for Jansen Adjusters International. Inevitably, there are going to be insurance issues here. What can and cannot be covered as far as your vehicle goes, your home goes? What are these people going to do?
Well, the first thing I'd like to say to a lot of people, and I've noticed this, is that people are driving through the water, and that is not a good idea. Whether it's 2 inches or 8 feet, it's not a good idea. And sometimes it's not even covered. If you don't have comprehensive coverage on your policy, you're not going to get coverage for that. But there's flood. Your homeowner's policy does not cover for flood. So unless you've got flood insurance, you may not be covered.
So what can people do? I mean, a lot of people are going to want to clean up the damage themselves and get things out of their house. Is that a wise thing to do?
Well, it is a good idea to dry things out. The only thing you don't want to do is throw anything away. If you can take lots of photos, you can never take enough photos for the insurance company. But if you do take things out of the house, because obviously you have to get things dried out, pile them up outside. Eventually, the city may come by and say, "Look, you've got to remove these items, but take good pictures." And I've seen claims like Hurricane Sandy, for example, where they didn't pay for some of the items because they weren't able to see them. So, if anything, I tell you, make sure you take lots of pictures and don't throw anything away if you possibly can.
Does this become a bigger issue maybe for someone like FEMA, or it becomes a bigger issue for the government, who ultimately, if people have flood policies, is the entity that's going to have to pay out?
Well, the NFIP, National Flood Insurance Program, you have to be in a certain area to be part of that. But they do pay out. But they also, people that don't have insurance, there are low-interest loans and grants that you can get to kind of help the people that don't have coverage, because there are people that have either been flooded before, which if you've been flooded before more than twice, you cannot get coverage in some cases. So, yeah, but FEMA will jump in if you don't have coverage. There are some things, and you can go to, and I believe it's NFIP.org, and you can look up information on that.
David Moore with Jansen Adjusters International joining us this evening.